Hi everyone, and welcome back to the virtual classroom where we look, listen and learn together. I have something interesting to show you today, and it's a natural object, and it's something found in a place called a woodland, and it appears like this on a tree that has quite thick foliage, which often grows near the coast in sandy soils. And this is called the Banksia. And you might have seen a Banksia before. These have fallen off a tree, these ones. They're a little bit squashed, but you can still see their flowers. And they're sort of like a cone type of plant, flowering tree. And they grow all over Australia, and there are a lot of different types of the Banksia plant or tree, and they have these beautiful shaped flowers, and these are actually sort of cones that are made up of a lot of different flowers, individual flowers, and sometimes flowers that come in pairs as well. And they're loved by the bird community because they hold a lot of pollen. It's that dusty pollen on there. I don't know if you can see it falling off. Might make you sneeze. And they're a beautiful species. And I think there are about 60 different types of these trees around Australia. But in Victoria, we have about 8 of them. And they provide a special habitat for a lot of animals because they create a Banksia woodland, and in a woodland there are lots and lots of the trees all together, and underneath there might be lots of mammals that like to live, and they're protected by these trees, and then a lot of birds like to visit, and even tiny little insects as well, because once these flowers have matured, that means they've gotten a bit older and they've grown and they've flowered. A seed pod comes out like this. And you can see that this seed pod has actually opened up there. You see that? And all of the little seeds have come out. And this usually happens sometimes in fire. The fire makes these seed pods burst, or just if the conditions are right. Sometimes birds, like cockatoos, maybe the yellow-tailed black cockatoo, likes to come and eat the seeds out of them. And these seed pods are quite woody and hard. I don't know if I can make a sound. Oh, can you hear that sound? It goes crunch, 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 crunch. Sort of like a frog, that sound. But these are more a crackling sound, a rustling sound. I thought maybe I could draw and paint some of these spiky Banksias, and I might even draw the seed pod. So this is sort of the before, when it's all flowering and beautiful and yellow, very vibrant yellow. And it's funny because these come out in autumn and spring or winter, and so they stay around in those colder months. So there's that one. So I'm going to draw the Banksia. And the Banksia, the word Banksia starts with the letter B. Banksia, like that. The Banksia. Now the Banksia woodland, the Banksia flower sort of has that cone type shape. And then out of there comes all of these beautiful flowers. Can you see the beautiful flowers spiking out? They spike out like that, all the way around, all the way up. And then some come out this way. So you might like to draw this spiky flowering plant with all of those spiky bits. You might even like to use some pencils as well to give that colour. You don't have to paint it. It could be done in texture or in a marker, in a crayon. whatever media or medium you would like to use is fine. You can mix up the types of, you could paint and draw as well. There's that spiky flowering Banksia. And then the seed pod is very interesting. So you see there, that's that spiky looking Banksia plant. And actually underneath it has a few little curly ones. So you might like to add those ones that have curled up in there. Because underneath, I don't know if you can see, there's some little curly ones. So you can see that there. Now I'm going to draw this one, and I might actually put it next to me so that I know exactly how to draw it. And it is that sort of cone shape again, like that. But then it has, they're like little eyes. Can you see they're sort of that almond shape? And some of them have opened up. Some of them are on the side there like that. I'm gonna make it a bit three-dimensional and like that. And then they have these tiny little ones as well, like that. Tiny little spots all over it, sort of where all of those beautiful flowers have come out of there, like that. And then, see how it's got that bit there, all the way down. And then maybe this one I might paint, and it's actually a little bit brown. It's got a bit of a brown colour to it, doesn't it? And black, a brown and black colour. I'm going to open my paints here. I'm going to use the brown colour to maybe paint some of these dots in, like that. And then it sort of has a grey colour to it as well. It's a really interesting type of plant, the Banksia. And it has quite shallow roots, and it gets its nutrients through the roots, the shallow roots system. There we go. And then it has some grey on it as well. And I'm sure that some animals would love to eat the seeds that come out of these beautiful Banksia plants, these flowering trees. And you might see a Banksia tree near your house, and you might like to collect maybe some of the seed pods that have fallen down. You could make some very interesting patterns in your Play-Doh as well. And there actually aren't many plants that live underneath the Banksia tree if it's in a woodland, because its foliage is so thick and it creates its own habitat for animals underneath. So all the leaves fall down off the trees, and I'm sure maybe some little insects like to live under the leaves of the Banksia tree. A very thick, spiky leaf. It sort of looks a bit like this, spiky, like that. So maybe you could have a look around your local area, and you can see whether there are any beautiful Banksia trees, or if you're going down to the coast, maybe near the coast, there might be a Banksia tree somewhere near where you visit. So this is the Banksia, and it is a very beautiful species, very vibrant colours, and it's a really important plant for all of our insects and our birds who pollinate and collect the nectar that they need. So it's a tree we need to protect because it provides a lot to our environment. Maybe you can draw some Banksia flowers, or the seed pod. It's a very interesting looking seed pod as well. Maybe you can do some research in your house about the Banksia plant. I hope you've enjoyed doing some drawing or listening to some interesting information about the Banksia tree. I'll see you next time. Bye.